Hello everyone, this is Tyler.
And this is Nikki.
And we're Do Go On. This is our first video on our channel. We had the idea for Do Go On a while back, about 8 months ago.
Back in October we came up with this. We even made our account in October, like October 26th, and we're just now getting around to it.
But now that the channel's up and running and we figured out all the technical stuff, we can actually get into making videos. And our first series that we're doing on this channel is a thing we're calling Smash Standby. And in Smash Standby, we're going through all the characters randomly in Smash Brothers and talking about, like, overview of them, their moves, just basically how they appear in the fourth game.
He came up with the name, by the way.
Yeah. I came up with the name because alliteration. Shut up.
Yeah, I guess.
So today, we are starting our very first video, not only for Smash Standby, but for the channel, and it's going to be about Palutena. Okay?
Yep.
So let's just get right into it. Palutena, this is her first appearance playable in Smash series. She was in Brawl as part of Pit's Assist Trophy, but that was his background.
You mean Final Smash?
Yeah, Final Assist Trophy.
Pit is an assist trophy now, guys.
But it's in the background of his Final Smash, but she obviously wasn't playable then. But now she's in the series, and she got a pretty epic trailer along with her release.
I'm not going to lie, it was pretty cool.
It was cool. So, currently Palutena is spot 47 out of 52 on the tier.
That's just abysmal.
It is pretty abysmal, and throughout the video we'll explain reasons for her location. So Nikki and I are now going to start talking about her such moves and her custom specials. And Nikki, I'm thinking we should just alternate. I'll say one, you say one, and we'll sort of give our input on it. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So how about you start with Auto Reticle?
Okay, so her neutral special, the default is Auto Reticle. Assuming an enemy is close enough to her for the attack to work, because if they're too far away on the other side of the stage, it's not going to work. It'll target them and shoot 3 blasts of energy, and do damage.
Yeah, it does 3% per hit. And we don't want to spend too much time on this, so we apologize if you guys want to hear all about Auto Reticle.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have 5 minutes to talk about one attack.
Yeah, so we're going to move semi-quickly because the main focus of this video is going to be the overview at the end and talking about her.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go about talking about her custom specials for her neutral B. So Auto Reticle is obviously her standard, but she also has Explosive Flame as one of her customs, which is a smart bomb-like explosion that she shoots by just pressing the B button, and it explodes a set distance away. And that does a surprisingly low amount of damage at 4%. So
you'd think it'd do more.
Yeah, you think it'd do more, but in my opinion, it's probably her worst neutral B variation, because it doesn't do that more than Auto Reticle, number one. And number two, it doesn't hit multiple times. Auto Reticle just does 3 per hit, meaning it could do 9 total.
I totally agree with that. That's her worst of the 3.
Yeah. And moving on.
So her other custom would be Heavenly Light. It fires a rectangular field of light around, just around a radius of herself, which deals damage, and it also repels the enemies from the side. So it's a good attack for if they're close up, you can push them away and also do some damage, and then it keeps them from getting into you to do damage while you're using it for a short period of time.
Yeah, and that's one of the few attacks in Smash 4 that actually has a pushing effect, like that completely prevents you from getting other opponents even near you, which is actually pretty helpful.
Yeah.
And also we should point out that Palutena is the only character in the game, this probably was worth mentioning, that has completely different custom moves than any of the other characters, aside from the Mii fighters, but they aren't used in tournaments, so we're
they don't count.
Yeah. But all the other characters, like we'll learn on the next episode, just have variations. Palutena has completely new moves.
It's pretty cool.
Her side B is Reflect Barrier. It's basically just a reflector, but you can also hit opponents on the way out with it by bonking them with your shield. It does 5% damage if you hit them on the impact, and 1.2 times the amount of damage if you reflect something.
And I think it's worth mentioning for that also it can, if people are trying to rush towards you and you use that, it can push them away for a short period of time like it does with their projectiles.
Yeah.
So one of her customs for the side special move is Angelic Missile, where she shoots herself forward and into the opponent, very similar to Luigi's Green Missile.
Also similar to Pikachu's Skull Bash.
Yes, true that. I don't know why I said that. That was dumb.
True that. It does 13% damage.
It's pretty good.
Next, we're talking about, at least in my opinion, she has two really good specials, and this, in my opinion, is by far her best side custom. It's called Super Speed. I really like character variations like Shulk's Monado arts. Super Speed doesn't exactly do that. It's more of a quick, charging ground attack of sorts. But what it helps her to do is it gives her many options for combos. So you can use this move, and there's very little ending lag, so it helps you lead into other combos. This, combined with another one of her custom specials we'll talk about in a bit, Lightweight, are two of the best custom specials in the game because they give her way more versatility than she has right now.
Yep. Alright, so then that brings us to her up B, or her recovery. Her default is Warp. It's literally, she just warps across the stage. She disappears and reappears across the stage wherever you direct her.
Yeah. And there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, and it doesn't do damage either, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And one of her customs is called Jump Glide. It's very reminiscent of Peach Parasol. Her up special customs don't really give her like that many different options like her side and neutral do. They're just basically like Jump Glide and Rocket Jump, which Nikki's about to talk about, basically do the same thing except Rocket Jump Meteor Smashes.
Yeah, okay, fine. Just talk about all of the things I was about to. Rude. So her other custom, as Tyler just pretty much explained all of, is Rocket Jump. It creates an explosion underneath her while also boosting her up. It can damage enemies, and it, like he said, also meteor smashes. So that's pretty good.
And her down B
counter
is a counter. It does 1.3 times so that whatever the attack she countered was. It has, this is ironic because in one of the tips she talks about how this has a really high range. It actually has one of the lowest range of all the counter attacks. Her counter covers a really, sadly low range, but it has high knockback and will one-hit KO any attack that's over 40 damage.
Any attack. It's pretty interesting. Do go on.
That's funny. Go.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so her other custom is Lightweight. It increases her speed and jump height. It increases the damage she takes, and you would think it would increase the knockback too, but it doesn't. So yeah.
And again, Lightweight, if you use Lightweight with the speed and jumping, she basically becomes a Sonic. You can use Lightweight to get faster and then use, Super Speed and combo very easily, which is why I think those are two of her best customs.
Yeah. And
then her last custom move is Celestial Firework. The total amount of damage this attack does is 5%. It kind of reminds me of Explosive Flame just because it's an explosion, but it's very close ranged. But it pays off because it does more damage. Only 1%, but still a little more.
Yeah, barely.
Not much to talk about. Celestial Firework isn't seen in tournaments pretty much at all.
Yeah,
because it has very poor use.
Yeah, it just shoots a firework in front of her. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all there's to talk about. So then, Yeah, that's all I really. That's it. That's it for those.
And then we're gonna go over the tilts and the aerials and the smashes real quick. So her forward tilt, she swings her staff around. This move has a long duration and surprisingly good range, actually, for a tilt, I noticed. But all of these attacks we're about to talk about, Palutena is a very laggy character, basically. We'll get to that when we talk about the overview. But that's one of the reasons she's so low on the tier, is because of how laggy she is. I truly feel that if she wasn't as laggy, like just the lag itself has probably dropped her like 20 spots. Because she would actually be a really good character if her smashes and stuff weren't as laggy.
Oh yeah, that's me. So yeah, that's all right. Then her up tilt would be where she spins her staff upwards and it can hit quite a few times.
Yeah, this move has actually a small... Palutena gets a really small hitbox, which is helpful. So it's hard to hit her when she's using this move, because you kind of get sucked in if you're on either side of her.
Yeah, and it also helps because it can like stop a lot of aerial attacks that are coming towards you.
Yeah, but the downside to it is that it leaves her very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like we said. Her down tilt is by far her fastest tilt. It easily catches any spot dodgers that are moving across the stage, but it has very poor range.
Yeah. Alright, so then we'll go on to her aerial attacks. Her neutral aerial attack is just, there's not much to say. She hits people with her staff in the air. I mean, you know, not much to really say about that one.
Yeah, her neutral area is good for trapping air dodgers and can combo at actually extremely low percents, because it doesn't launch very far, but when the person's at like 3%, you can combo into a tilt.
Yeah.
Her forward aerial, not much to say. It's very reminiscent of Zelda's lightning kick, because she has a sweet spot on it, and it's a pretty good spacer that you can use.
Yeah, so then, sorry, which one did you do?
Oh my god.
I apologize.
Forward aerial.
Okay, that's what I thought. Her back aerial. Don't worry, we'll get better at this. Her back aerial, she hits with her shield behind, and it could block attacks from, obviously, behind.
Yeah, it's a good edge guarding tool.
Yeah.
Her up aerial, one of the strongest up airs in the game. It has extremely good KO potential. But again, if you use that and land on the ground, it has extreme landing lag.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, her down aerial, she'll kick in an arc below, and it can meteor smash enemies in the air, which is an upside. But it does also have a lot of landing lag.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about her smashes real quick. Her forward smash, first of all, I just want to point out, Palutena has a thing that's known in competitive play called Windbox. And Windbox is basically a very rare move in the Smash, not move, but aspects and moves in the Smash series. Her and Ganondorf has in his up tilt. It's where moves like just give off wind, which is actually kind of unfortunate, in my opinion at least, because I feel like it makes it harder to land her smashes. So we'll just explain. Her forward smash, she thrusts her wings forward. It obviously has wind box. It has pretty mediocre range, but again, a lot of ending lag. And it's pretty predictable, so if you see her like start getting ready to throw forward, you can easily dodge around that and just get her from the backside while she's using that move.
Yeah. For her up smash, it's actually pretty interesting. She shoots a blue beam of light in front of her. It can hit enemies quite high in the air. It's pretty good for edge guarding, and it has very good KO potential. Can KO at good.
And another thing with her up smash, it can be comboed out of her down throw at low percents. Yeah. Which by the way, I used to main Palutena. And I used to do that combo quite a bit. Down throw, up smash.
Yeah.
But her up and down smash especially are both very risky moves to use. Because if you miss, you can be easily punished.
Yeah.
Her down smash, just like forward smash, it's basically the same thing, just on both sides. It has win box. It catches spot dodgers easily. But it's, like I said, quite a risky move. So now that we're done with that, we can get into some trivia and sort of talking about her overview.
Shouldn't we talk about her final smash?
Oh, right.
Don't worry,
Okay.
I got this.
You do it.
I will. So, her final smash is called Black Hole Laser. It attracts enemies into a black hole, and she fires a laser into it, and the last hit can knock the enemies away from where the final smash happens. So it's like a final smash, you know?
Yeah. It's actually surprisingly good on big stages because the laser takes up the whole length of the stage. But the laser doesn't, like, suck them in. It's only the black hole that does.
Yeah.
And the black hole is fairly small on a big stage and won't trap as easily. But in total, if every hit lands, the total damage the final smash does is 40%.
Which is pretty good.
Which is pretty good. Now, to get into some other stuff. Palutena enters the stage by walking out of a glowing door, golden door with a glowing light behind it.
Yeah.
She's the only character that can use a reflect and a counter at the same time in the entire Smash series. Which is also interesting.
It is.
And if I remember correctly, I think she's the only character that has a reflect and a counter as her default moves.
Yeah.
She has the highest vertical ranged up smash in the game. And there are unused sound files found in the game's data for Kirby previously being able to use her custom moves. Which obviously implies that he could be able to use Explosive Flame, Jump Glide, Super Speed, all those moves.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, now we can... Oh, and her home stages are also Palutena's Temple and Skyworld.
And on the 3DS, it's also Reset Bomb Forest.
All right. So, now let's just talk about Palutena in general. Nikki, do you want to start or do you want me to start? We can sort of... It'll just be like a sentence. Like, we'll, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll just sort of bring up a point. Palutena's a very defensive-minded character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because she lacks a lot of quick, easy-to-land KO moves. And if she does land them, they aren't even that powerful for KO moves.
Yeah.
She is actually fairly good at dealing with camping opponents by using her auto reticle, reflect barrier, and so on. But like we said, she has the unfortunate combination of being tall and light, like Zelda and Mewtwo, both being tall and light in the Smash series are very, one of the last things you want to have as a character.
Yeah.
So that's bad, and she's also, like we said, extremely laggy in all of her moves. But in tournament play, she benefits greatly from customs, like Super Speed and Lightweight.
Yeah.
Do you have any input on her?
I actually don't. I don't. She's not one of my favorite characters. I mean, she's not awful, but like he said, it's mostly defensive, and I'm more of an offensive character type of thing. I like to try to take down opponents, so...
Yeah. Yeah, Palutena is a pretty in-depth character, but unfortunately, all of this stuff just isn't cutting it for her. At least in tournaments.
Yeah, I think if you want to be a good Palutena user, you gotta really practice and be good at it, as it's kind of hard to master her type of stuff.
Okay, well, that's gonna be it for this episode. About 20 minutes. Pretty good length. Next episode's going to be Pac-Man, so look out for that. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
And comment if you want to. We love you.
Yeah. All right, this has been Do Go On for Smash Standby. See you guys later.
See ya.